I'm asking you, do we both agree that a tumor is not an individual human being?
I agree with that. You don't.
No, I do. I agree with that.
So here's an example of a specific type of tumor. It forms actually at the point of fertilization and has a unique genome from the father and the mother.
Do we agree that
How about this? You answer the question instead of running away from it.
Do we? Unlike you, F slur. I'm just being good faith. I'm trying to determine.
I'm being,
No, I'm
being
not.
so
I'm not.
calling you slurs.
It's quick. When you get a sperm and an egg and they fertilize, they create a new DNA cycle that is independent of your skin cells, independent of your entire body's DNA, and then it reproduces down its own cycle and eventually becomes one of me and one of you. Right? So what's your question?
Yeah, so I guess if your hand, right, had different DNA than the rest of your body, would you consider it morally valuable? Like, because it's its own life? Of course not, right?
Well, it doesn't though. That's the thing.
No, if it did.
How about this? In a video game where that's
can you answer that first?
Yeah, in a video game where that's the case, then whatever. But in reality, no.
By whatever you mean, yes, right?
Sure, in a video game, yeah, but not in reality.
Okay. Well, in reality, actually, we do actually have certain parts of our bodies that'll sometimes have different DNA than the rest of it. They're called tumors. Tumors, yeah.
No, that's incorrect.
Do you want to know how a tumor forms?
Okay,
then
go ahead and cite.
Part of the DNA mutates. The part of the DNA responsible for killing it off. It mutates.
A mutation does not create a new.
Zen, do you morally value tumors?
Dude, seriously.
You do have to let him respond.
So,
okay, all right.
When a mutation is not a new ontological change in DNA, that's just a mutation of the form of your current DNA that still has your DNA from the rest of your body. It's just an overproduction of your cells, right?
Could you tell me the difference between an ontological change and a non-ontological change?
Skin cancer is simply the overproduction of your cells. Ontological change, the change in nature, the nature of a being. So the nature of a sperm cell with its own DNA from the father, and the nature of an egg cell with the DNA of the mother. There is no ontological change between the father and his sperm cells and the mother and her egg cells. But when they combine, and the 23 chromosomes from each create a new unique genetic code, an ontological change has occurred, and now that being starts to reproduce down its own DNA cycle. Do you understand?
The code of a tumor is also unique. The DNA code of a tumor is unique.
But it's not.
Yes, it is. I'll explain to you how.
How about this? Okay, yeah. So this is what the burden is for you. This is what the burden is for you. Sure. Find a source that claims that a tumor has individuated unique DNA from its host, and that it is a human being.
Sure. I'm gonna go ahead and Google how does a tumor work and provide you with the first source from the National Cancer Institute.
Yeah, drop it in the chat.
Sure. So the way a tumor works, the way tumors work is because of the fact that like part of that DNA is mutated different than the rest. Thus, it's individual and unique. It's been changed, mutated, right? This tumor now has the ability to replicate itself continuously as opposed to dying when it's supposed to. This is why they're so unhealthy for you. That's why they have this.
But a tumor is not a human being, right? A tumor is simply an overproduction of cells.
In my definition, correct. By your definition, no.
No. I don't have my own definitions for words, child. So listen.
Everyone does, and I think you're younger than I am.
No, I doubt that. But anyway, well, if I am, if I'm younger than you, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. But anyway,
you know what? I'd be sorry to hear this, but I don't really see what's supposed to be.
How about this? Hey, do we agree that?
How about this? You answer the question instead of running away from it.
Do we agree?
You're getting pressed on this.
Do we agree that a cancer?
You're on what?
Dude, this is not a debate. You're just
hang on. Stop. Let's back up for a second. You do need to respond directly to his question if you can, Sinthe. But let me try to clarify something. I'll just try to kind of make it as logical as I possibly can, just to clarify this for you, Zen. My definition of gender is different than the sociological definition of gender, and that would be the scientific definition. Your definition of gender is also different than the scientific definition of gender. So what he's saying is valid. It's valid. So I do.
No. My definition of human is scientific.
No, I get it. But my point is that if I have a definition of gender that's different from the scientific definition of gender, I'm not wrong and they're not right. It's just a different definition. So like you have a different definition than they do as well. That's all I'm saying. So it's a legitimate form of argumentation. What he's saying. It does start with you. He does have to demonstrate it. And so I'll start with you.
With me?
Sure. With me or with Zen?
I'm sorry. I'll start with Zen. He was on his play, basically.
I'm simply just I'm asking you, do we both agree that a tumor is not an individual human being?
I agree with that. You don't.
No, I do. I agree with that.
So here's an example of a specific type of tumor. It forms actually at the point of fertilization and has a unique genome from the father and the mother. The type of tumor is called the biparental hidatidform mole. I can't pronounce that middle word, but I'll go ahead and paste it to you. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a person?
No, a cancer cell is not created by the fertilization of a sperm cell and an egg cell. It's just the overproduction.
This one actually is. This one is.
Okay, so you're telling me the sperm cell and an egg cell fertilize and create a new a cancer cell?
Yes, it's created at the point of fertilization. Yes.
Okay, what is it called? Biparental what?
I posted it in the private chat there.
Hang on, I'm going to copy and paste this. The mental gymnastics are remarkable, for the record. 10 out of 10.
I agree. You are very impressive, Zen.
Yeah,
you can project that back onto me if you want.
I have the PubMed that Sinthe posted. I put it down in general chat. That's the one you're referencing, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so although there is genetic heterogeneity, a major locus maps to chromosome 19q13.42, but a mutated gene has not yet been identified. So, I mean, that's just from the abstract. I don't know. Like listen, this is the thing. If you're going to argue that a cancer is a human, the burden is on you to actually do that. Because
you argue that, Zen.
What's that?
No, my point is this is an absurd conclusion. My point isn't that's true. It follows from your premises.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, the idea that a cancer cell would be a human being.
No, listen. Because I'm arguing that a human being is created at the moment of conception, when a sperm cell and an egg cell fertilize and create a new. No. Okay, the burden is on you to actually argue that. You can't just cite a source, call it something, and be like, "Haha, gotcha." No, actually argue this.
Sure. So you need a source that shows you that this type of tumor is formed at the point of fertilization with a unique new genome.
By a sperm cell and an egg cell, and they fertilize in the same way that a human is formed. So it's actually a cancer cell.
Formed in the same way a human is formed? That's just like begging the question.
Well, no, I'm like in the same way that I'm referencing when we say sperm cell with 23 chromosomes, egg cell with 23 chromosomes, meet, fertilize, combine into 46 chromosomes, 47 for you because you're retarded. And it creates what we call, I guess no, I'm not mad. You're just retarded.
You're getting pressed on this issue. You're miserably losing this debate.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because you're doing absurd mental gymnastics. Settle down. I understand.
I think the only one here who's upset is you. Get your emotions in check.
The same thing. This is how I am in every debate, dude. And I win every debate. But either way, show me in this source that you shared that a sperm cell fertilizes an egg cell, creates the new unique organism with 46 chromosomes from the mother and 23 from each, and it becomes a cancer cell instead of a human. Go ahead and, I mean, where does it say this?
It's not what I said, and that's not what we required, I guess, to prove your point.
What are you saying then?
What I'm saying is that if what you're saying is that a human being is valid or valuable because it has unique human DNA, this is the thing that you're giving value morally, then there are lots of cancer cells out there you should give value to. What's the difference between this and, for example, a newborn baby? I think there is one. What do you think?
The difference. Okay, cancer cell, overproduction of body tissue, body cells on an already formed human being that was created at conception. Human being created at the moment of conception when sperm cell and egg cell fertilize and create a new genetic code.
This is a circular argument. You're saying a human being is when a human being is formed.
No. Cancer cells are not the same thing. They're just not.
I agree. That's the point.
Cancer cells are simply an overproduction of your cells. So if you are to develop a tumor, if you are to develop a tumor on your
hang on, let him finish his point. Sir.
If you were to develop a tumor or like an overproduction of cells on your arm or on your brain, probably, which is what's going on, then that isn't a separate human being. That's simply an overproduction of your cells. You understand that, right?
So it's an overproduction. It's an overproduction of my cells, but would they have unique unique DNA, right? This one in particular is actually formed at conception. It doesn't have
unique DNA. It's your DNA. It comes from you. There's not a
Where
separate
do you think the DNA that you got comes from?
Say that again.
Where do you think the DNA that you got comes from?
It comes from the fertilization of my father's sperm cell and my mother's egg cell, and then they created me.
The father and the mother, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This type of tumor comes from the father and mother's DNA. It's a type of mole.
Okay. You're not actually arguing this. Where do you see this? I'm not seeing this in your source.
Sure.
I'm
So
only
go
seeing
ahead
an
and look at
abstract.
figure 1D and go ahead and here. I'll go ahead and provide you with this like a PDF here. Is there like a place I can upload that?
Well, I'm on
Upload
the link that you shared. I'm looking at it.
Sure.
What do
This
I
is a
click on?
here. So this is a PDF. I guess I'll provide you with a Sci-Hub link, or I'll just upload it somewhere really fast. What is a good place I can upload files? That Andrew or Pedro, do you guys know a place I can upload files really fast?
You're not just linking them; you actually need them uploaded.
Yeah, I'll just link you a screen cap here.
Wait a minute.
Imgur's
Okay, hang on a minute. I might actually just have an answer for you outright. I might just have an answer. You don't have to do that. So in this case of what this is it something that would threaten the life of the mother?
I don't think so. I don't really know much about that.
You're telling it's a cancer. Would it threaten the life of the mother? You said that this is a cancer, right?
Well, it's a mole, yeah. So it probably, I would imagine that it might not be the healthiest thing in the world. It's a tumor. So,
yeah. So if like I even prefaced this at the beginning. If it's something that would threaten the life of the mother, even if it's a regular pregnancy and it's just like pushing up against her organs, causing internal bleeding, sideways.
Oh, yeah, it's not a cancer, it's a tumor.
It is cancerous?
It's not a cancer, it's a tumor.
Well, that's what a cancer is, either malignant or benign tumor.
So that's not really true. You can have a tumor, it's not necessarily a cancer.
No, a tumor is a malignant or benign growth of cells, cancer. Whatever, dude. Stop. You tell me I just cancer. Okay. You're the one doing it. I don't care. I'm asking you if in these scenarios is
so there are plenty of cases actually of this where life of the mother is not
biparental high datiform moles. Do they threaten the life of the mother?
Sure. So in some cases they do, but there are plenty of cases where they don't.
Okay, so I guess if they're not threatening the life of the mother and it has the potential to grow into a human, then
it doesn't have the potential to go to a human. Right now it would have to be a human according to your definition.
Then it's clearly just some sort of like deformity, right? It's not actually a human being. But when
I agree. There we go. You just did the point.
No.
It's not a human being. Yes, it has unique DNA. It's created from the father and mother, and it's not a human.
Because it's clearly
Let
him respond, Sinthe. Let him respond.
Okay, how about this? Okay. Again, though, you have yet to actually argue that this has its own unique genetic code that is that of a human being. You have yet to actually argue that.
If you want, I could just like screen cap and show you like figure 1D, and you can see it.
I'm on the website, dude. Just point to me where to go.
So you're on PubMed, right? Do you know how to do you have a PubMed subscription? Can you open up the full PDF?
Do I have a PubMed subscription? The fuck? No, I don't have a PubMed.
Do you want to see the Okay, I'll show you the whole PDF then, right?
I clicked on this thing. I'm on it's academicoup.com. I don't know. It looks like I have the whole thing up.
Right now?
Huh?
Can you see my screen right now?
No, I cannot.
Do the screen thing? I think you have to drag that in, Pedro or Andrew.
You can hit. There we go. Yep. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So here we go. This is figure 1D right here. If you take a look at this right here, what you see, there you go. New DNA.
Which one?
Figure 1D is on my screen. Look on my screen. On StreamYards.
Okay. So that's and does that then develop, or what happens? Does it just die? What happens?
Develop into what?
Does it develop into what we know? Like does it start to develop a nervous system, heartbeat, etc., or does it just die?
Whoa.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking
the nervous
you.
System that gives you more value, though.
Stop, dude. I'm not saying that it does. Instead of having a meta conversation, answer my question. Does it start to develop into that, or does it just die? What happens to it? I'm not familiar with this thing.
Does it develop into what?
Does it develop further along the cycle of a human being's development? It's simple.
Okay, further along the cycle of a human being's development. Just like an aborted fetus, no.
Okay, so no. If left untouched, stop playing. You're clearly playing a game.
I tend to agree with Zen on this. You know, he is trying to go through.
Unlike you, F slur. I'm just being good faith. I'm trying to determine.
I'm not.
It's full contact. But trust me, if we were off stream, I would have said.
Then why isn't it full contact for me? Why are you playing such a victim, Zen?
Because you're being a beta. Now, please tell me.
You're getting so upset.
Seriously, instead of playing games with me, just tell me. I'm genuinely trying to be good faith.
I'm kind of curious myself, actually.
Yeah, does it continue to develop along the cycle of a normal human being growth cycle, or does it just die? What happens to
No,
it?
it turns into a tumor and it continues to grow.
And then it would what? Threaten the life of the mother?
No.
You're telling me this
Not
doesn't
always.
threaten, you're telling me this tumor does not threaten the life of the mother.
There are cases where it does and cases where it doesn't. Yeah, in the cases where it doesn't,
then my position is absolved because I said that if it's threatening the life of the mother, then it's okay to have an abortion, even if it's a regular pregnancy, even if it's not this.
Sure. So if it's not threatening the life of the mother, can you kill it?
I would say you should let it develop and see if it actually is what you're saying it is, because I would imagine that you wouldn't be able to just detect this at the moment of conception. You would probably detect it further along. And don't interrupt me. I know you want to. You would probably.
That's crazy, dude. I don't know about that one.
Excuse me. I just told you not to, and then you did.
Go ahead.
So how about you be good faith like I am? So
you're still good faith, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm saying I would imagine you can't actually detect this at the moment of conception. You wouldn't actually know that it's the deformity, and you would probably find it further along the lines, and they would say like, oh, this is actually just a tumor.
Oh, sure.
It's just like it's not actually gonna survive. It's not actually gonna be able to be birthed. It's just gonna be a tumor.
Survive.
Well, what's that?
It'll survive.
Do they survive? I'm asking you, do these things survive?
I already answered the question before you asked it.
No. I'm not asking you if they would. I'm saying like, do these things actually survive, or are they just cancer cells? Like, what are they?
I already told you it would survive. It would survive as a tumor.
No, I didn't ask you what it would do. I'm asking you, do these things actually survive?
I told you, if you don't interact with it, if you don't mess with it, yes, they do survive as a tumor.
So they just sit there they never actually get birthed. They never actually develop anything. They just, what happens to them? Like, you're not being specific with your argument. What happens to these things?
No, they don't ever develop into like the human being that I talk about, or like the human being that you're using the definition for.
Do they get birthed?
No, it's a tumor. It's like a mole.
So they don't actually travel through like the birth. They don't actually sit in the uterus and in the womb and actually develop, and they just sit there.
They're not anything like the thing you're thinking of when you think of a human. They will never have a brain. They're never going to have they're never going to even like look like that, like that
Okay.
day one image you usually see.
Next question. How common is this?
No idea. It doesn't matter.
No, I would like to know, how common is this?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. How common is this?
I just told you 2 times in a row.
Well,
I have no idea.
Well, he doesn't know the answer.
You clearly have not fleshed out your position on this, so you don't even know what you're saying here. You don't know enough
about the one case of it happening, Zen. If there's even one case of it happening, it proves you wrong.
No, it doesn't prove me wrong because I haven't.
You morally evaluate it.
Well, so just take a breath for a second, guys, so I can address this real quick. You need to push these two past this nonsense. Actually, no, I don't. This is very key. This is what they're arguing over. So within the definition of what Zen considers conception and life at conception, Sinthe is offering up something that's exactly what he's saying, and then saying, so should we let that continue to grow, right, and not intervene? I think that it's an important distinction, and I'm going to allow it.